Training is manipulation of biomotor abilities. Now, biomotor abilities is the basic triangle where we have strength, endurance, speed, flexibility, and coordination. Each of them, each pair creates new biomotor ability. So strength and speed creates power, okay, or explosive strength. Strength and endurance creates strength, endurance, etc. With this understanding, training session is manipulation of a single biomotor ability or couple of them. Now, if I follow a certain logic of manipulation, I'm creating a continuum over time of manipulation of these biomotor abilities. In turn, it creates what we call a Mesocycle continuum, and to overall process we call program, which is periodized, because the goal of inner logic of manipulation of the biomotor abilities is to merge them one into another to create a better performance at the end outcome. And the end outcome is what we call a goal. So now each training session upon this continuum have a meaning. Okay, it means something because this training session is connected to this training session and to this and to follow to create a progress, to create evolution, to create supercompensation. And this is a horizontal sector where we see a timeline and we see our sessions, we see the Mesocycle continuum, and we see our focal points. Now, we need to understand that every session that represents every or any biomotor ability have life of its own, and it's the vertical line, because in each session I'm addressing and manipulating biomotor ability. And if I am for a second forgetting my goal, I'm forgetting where I'm going from each session to session, what happens is that I'm finding myself in a different dimension, meaning that by manipulating the biomotor ability, it takes me vertically, it moves me into another time frame. Okay? Same as multiverse, a multidimensional system of coordinates. Because now, although I do have a continuum of training session, it begins to deviate me from my previous goal. So now, in the two-dimensional world, I'm slowly beginning to deviate and I'm going further. For example, if I'm working on my flexibility and I need so and so flexibility to excel, let's say in triathlon, or to perform good in a kettlebell sport, but I forget and mobility and flexibility becomes a goal, an issue of its own, how much more can I make my T-spine mobile? How much more can I get the split open, although I'm kinda continue training toward my goal? What actually happens that I'm slowly begin to forget and to get further from my initial goal and to train for another one. Now, at some mesocycle, let's call it strengths, I can lose myself again. And again, doing vertical work, focusing on biomotor ability in particular session or in particular couple of sessions may slowly push me even further to another dimension where I begin to develop some strengths, while again, in my mind, I think I'm going here, but I'm going further from my goal. It's like swimming in the sea. The shore is here. You can see the houses, you can see the lifeguards, but somehow you see them, but you're slowly getting further and further. And at some point, you may lose strength and either drown or be saved. So by losing my focus, losing my horizontal focus of the overall program, I slowly find myself in the endless web of possibilities, because you understand that I can represent, it's not a two-dimensional, but a multi-dimensional cube of endless horizontal and vertical fitness dimension that are interconnected with one another by endless sessions. And again, all of them move me to a seemingly same goal I was moving, the initial one. So I may wander in this endless realm of possibilities, sometimes getting back to my root, and sometimes getting very far. Same as I draw here. I can see the shore, but I am slowly getting away from it until I found myself at the place where there is no lifeguards, no shore, and no people. Now, in fitness, in training, it's really hard. It's really in training, it's really easy to spot and to suddenly find myself making a vertical focus on strengths that have no correlation with the strengths that will take me to my goal. Because the thing with the biomotor abilities is very simple. When I have a goal, be it triathlon, be it carryover sport, kettlebell sport, be it powerlifting, there will be always a question of how much of each biomotor ability I need to excel in one of many sports. It can be running, swimming, biking, even gymnastics. Because more of the wrong ability will deviate, and instead of reaching my goal, I'm going to sabotage myself. The same pattern happens when we get lost in thinking, where instead of actions, we begin to make endless thoughts, running in the circles, trapped in the cube of the endless web of possible outcomes, never actually reaching a goal, moving vertically and horizontally, okay, between our presumed expectations, hopes, and even pseudo goals. And when we get lost in our mind like this is how hell looks in some religions, in some beliefs, while staying inside of your head and never getting out of it. Now, back to the training. As I said, in training, it's really easy to see and get back on track, and that using the same system to implement it into the life and getting out of your head and into the body so you can swim directly to shore and never wander near it. As far as training, the last thing, or maybe the only thing we need to understand, that we cannot do training. We cannot do none of this. What we can do is actions related to the project, to the training. And our actions will eventually determine the outcome.